Dear students, once again I welcome you all to the module 4 of the value-added course on data analysis using Python. In the last lecture, we give a brief overview about an important concept in object-oriented programming called inheritance. In inheritance, we have minimum two classes. There will be a class called base class and there will be a class called derived class. The derived class inherit the properties and methods from the base class. Why we are doing this? The main idea is to reuse the code. We don't want to define the member functions in every class. So this is the idea behind inheritance. Okay. In today's lecture, we are going to see programmatically how this inheritance is implemented. So in inheritance, as I said, we need two classes. I have the first class, name it as student. The student class have members like register number, student name and course, and they have some member functions init and display stud. Now I have another class test that doesn't have any members, but it has two member functions, get marks and display marks. So this arrow shows that the test class is going to inherit from the student class. So here I have used two classes, one is student and test is inherit from the student class. This type of inheritance is called single inheritance. So what we are going to do programmatically, I am giving the procedure here. Step 1, we are going to define a student class. Step 2, we are going to define a test class which inherits the student class. So student class is the base class, test class is the derived class. In step 3, we are going to create object not for the student class. We are going to create object for the test class, and we can call this test class the methods of student as well as the test class. So this type of inheritance, we call it as single inheritance. For example, I am defining a class student and I am doing a single inheritance now. We have seen this previously. Test is inheriting from student. Suppose I have defined one more class. It is called result that inherits test. This type of inheritance we have seen earlier. It is called multi-level inheritance. Now the student is the base class. Test is the derived class. But for the result class, test will be the base class. So we can create object for this result class and access the methods from test and student. That's what I have doing in procedure. First, in step 1, I will define the student class. Step 2, I will define the test class which inherits the student class. In step 3, I define another class, result class, to make multi-level inheritance which inherits the test class. Now, my final class is result class. I will create object for this result class and call the methods and display the result. Now we can go to the Jupyter notebook and see how the program works. See here, I am defining a class student. As usual, I have some methods for this class. GetStud is one method to initialize the values. DisplayStud is another method to display the values. So after doing this, I can run this. You can select this segment and click run. This will run. Okay. Now I am defining another class. See here, class test. So this is the derived class. This is the derived class. How it inherits the base class, that I am given in the bracket. So student is my base class, which already defined earlier. So this test class has two methods. They are getMarks and displayMarks. Okay. Now what I am going to do, I am also running this class. I run. It has also run. Now I am going to call the I am going to create an object and call this test class. For that, I am going to give my input in runtime. To give my input in runtime, I have written some statements using the input command. When you give input command in Python, in runtime itself, it will ask you the value from your side. Okay. So I have written like this, R equal to input, enter register number. So you can give register number here and that value will be stored in R. Similarly, name, course and marks will be stored in the respective variables N, C and M. So if I run this segment, you can see here in runtime it is asking the value from me. So here I am giving 21 PCA 134. This is my register number entering. Then I am giving a name. I am giving Kishore as my name and running. Then I am giving the course. I am giving BCom running. Then I am giving the marks. For example, I am giving 300. Enter. Now I have given input. Now I want to call the test class and call the methods. See here, I am writing like this. st1, I am calling the method test. Okay, so the test class, for this test class, the object is created st1. Now I am calling the methods one by one. st1.getStud, and I am passing the parameters, the register number, name and course. Then st1.getMarks, I am passing the marks. Then I am displaying the student and displaying the mark details. When I run this, you can see here the values are displayed. Register number 21 PCA 134, we have given an input. Kishore, the name, BCom, and the marks have come. Still, the program is not over. We have created one more class. That class is called result. Which inherits the method test. Test is already defined earlier. So here I have another method. That method is called calculate grade. So I want to calculate if my marks is greater than 500, I am defining it as grade A. If it is greater than 400, I am defining it as grade B. Else, I am defining it as grade C and printing my grade. Okay. Now I am running this. Run. So now the result class is defined with the method calculate grade. Again I am giving input. I am running this. I am giving different input. Let it be 21 PCA 135. I am giving a different student. Name, I am giving Hari as my name. Course, I am saying BSc Computer Science, and I am giving 400 mark. I am giving mark as 4. Let it be 421. It will be 421. Enter. Now what will happen when this mark is given? This calculate grade will be called and it will see whether the mark is greater than 400. What it should come the output? Grade B. We have to check whether the grade B is coming or not. So how we can do? We can create object for the result class. That is the final class, and the object name is st1, and I'm calling the methods one by one. GetStud, GetMarks, DisplayStud, DisplayMarks, and calculate grade. Now when I run this, you can see here the result. 21 PCA 135 is the register number. Hari is the student. BSc Computer Science, the course he is studying. He got the total marks as 421. So it is above 400. So the grade is B. So dear students, in today's lecture we have seen inheritance, and in specifically we have seen programmatically two types of inheritance. One is single inheritance and another one is multi-level inheritance. So you can hope that from this lecture you understand the concept of inheritance. Happy learning.